This is Patty.
This is Andrew.
And you're watching One Taiwan Campus Edition! Woo! Let's welcome our guests, Eagle and Ming! Woo!
And we also have Zosha and Jacob. Lovely. Wow, this is an episode I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I see some really fun props on the table, confusing even, but yeah. Why don't we just start with that? Zosha, you brought this for us today, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So it's my favorite Polish dish.
What is it?
This is like, we call it makaron z truskawkami, and as you see, it's pasta with strawberries. We eat this during summer, so
Okay.
when it's like strawberry season. I know it's shocking, and many foreigners say they don't like it, but trust me, maybe you can try it and see.
Well, let's try
Let's
it.
try it!
I don't even know such dish existed.
So I'm happy
It looks
to
like a
bring
dessert,
something new.
But it's a pasta.
Yes, but we eat this as a dinner.
This is your main course
Yes,
in the summer.
yes, exactly.
So it's like a pasta salad kind of thing?
Yeah, we can call that if you want to.
So you guys grew up with this?
Yes.
We
Pretty
also
much.
have dumplings with strawberry and also with blueberries.
So you guys really like your berries.
I like berries.
Well, for example, I don't like it that much, but like I have some bad memories from like school. You know, we always used to have those, and this was like one of the most hated dishes in school.
wow.
I don't know if you guys agree with me,
it's
but
so good. No, I like it.
let's
Really?
try. I
used
haven't
to
had that in
taste it.
years.
I'm kind of nervous.
I just said it's my favorite dish.
No, it tastes better now. It tastes better
No,
now.
it's not bad. This is actually pretty good.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's delicious because, well, I'm a strawberry lover. Although with pasta, it's not an actual thing for me.
Yeah, my mind doesn't go there when I think strawberries.
No.
I don't
Right.
think, oh, you know what? Penne.
But it works.
It does, it does. And this isn't dessert.
No.
You have this with like meat and vegetables?
No, but you know, we just Polish people like to eat it
Okay.
this
It's a
way.
single dish.
You just like eat that. That's it.
Just like a light dinner. You've
I
had a
guess so,
big
yeah.
lunch, you've had a big breakfast, you don't need to eat too much, it's too hot anyway, you want to go to bed early.
Exactly. Yeah,
You have a light
exactly.
dinner
Totally.
before you go to bed.
Well, lovely.
Well, thank you. This is really interesting, Zosha. I've never had this before.
This is so
Yeah.
good.
And Jacob,
All right.
Jakob, which do you prefer?
You can call me Jacob.
Jacob's okay?
Yeah, since we're speaking English.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Let's go.
Jacob.
Let's go with Jacob.
Okay. And you have some interesting pottery or porcelain?
Yeah, but I'm wondering whether I should show it because, you know, it's nothing in comparison to the
Well, we can put that
strawberry
inside.
pasta, you know?
I mean, that's special in its own way, that it's strawberries and spaghetti. But this is interesting in its own way, too.
Yes, let me introduce this. So basically, I brought these two cups, and this pattern is something pretty popular in Poland. So these are very popular export products from Poland. They even made a small collection for the White House or something, right?
Wow.
Yes, and basically, if you want to order from the factory directly, you got to, I think the waiting time is a few years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
that popular.
it's
Is
very
it
popular.
hand painted?
It's hand painted, yeah.
This is really pretty.
This is really pretty. You use it for like an everyday coffee or tea?
Yeah, well, not just cups. There's collections of it, like everything, like
As
plates.
we can see there,
Yeah, like
tableware.
teapots.
Much,
Plates,
exactly.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
anything, teapots, whatever.
It's lovely. If I go to Poland, I would get some of these for my friends and
Yeah.
family. It's a great souvenir.
This feels quintessentially Polish right now.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
Wait a second.
Wait till you get the shot in your hand.
You
need more drinks.
We need some drinks. Right.
Ika, did you bring these?
Yes, I brought this. Polish people, they love not only eat fruits, they also love to drink fruit mixed with vodka or other more stronger alcohol. It's very common to do by Polish people at home. So we mix fruits soak in the strong alcohol for several weeks or even months.
Okay.
The alcohol content is ranges between 30 to 50%, so it's quite strong.
Very strong.
This one is the store-bought, but so many flavors, so you can try it. This one is the most common because this one is cherry.
Oh,
Wow.
cherry.
Before we take a sip, I can teach you the Polish cheers.
Oh, please.
Yes.
How do we say that?
We can say na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Okay.
Sounds
I can
like a
remember.
country.
I can
In
remember.
literal translation, it's like for your health.
Okay.
Yes.
I think a little sip, right? We don't need to go American style on this, right?
Well, actually, Polish style. You know.
Polish style
That would
too?
be
You guys
Polish
do
style.
full shots?
Of course.
You want one?
I mean, I think all of us
Okay,
should.
okay,
So
okay.
like only a sip is an insult to them.
Yeah, I know. I think I
It's not an
I
insult.
almost made a blunder here. Let me fix my
Sometimes
cultural
we do have.
insensitivity.
Sometimes we do have. Yeah,
I'm okay, I'm okay.
Oh, you're shy? You sure? Okay, okay. Sorry.
Although you don't do it as shots, like you're supposed
Sip
to
it.
sip
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But would you like a full glass anyway?
I'm good with that. What I
You're good
have.
with this?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to be rude. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm thirsty. I'll take a full shot.
Okay. You know what, Patty? I will join you.
While Taiwan has made me an alcoholic.
Well, that's kind of
Do you
scary.
guys drink on every
Every
episode?
country different
No,
alcohol,
not
right?
every single one, but every now and then, you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
I'm starting to think it's not just a Polish thing.
No. You think it would be, but hey, man, the world's a big place.
True.
There's a lot of places that kind of found the same thing with
But I
alcohol.
gotta say, right now with the shot in your hand, now you're starting to look like a Polish person.
Oh,
A little bit more.
Lovely.
And the cup, yes, perfect.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, what's the word again?
Na zdrowie?
Na zdrowie.
Oh,
Na
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Na zdrowie. Na zdrowie.
cheers.
Na zdrowie.
How is it?
It's really nice.
It's. Oh,
Very cherry.
do you know what I taste?
What do you taste?
Taiwanese plum liquor.
No,
Yes.
it's not plum, it's curry.
Meijo. Yeah, I mean the taste. It tastes
A little bit.
so much like
Aftertaste.
Okay.
meijo.
It-
A little bit.
Umeshu.
It starts out really cherry in the front. It's like really like you can taste the cherry, and then it kind of mellows out to a sweet kind of, almost kind of Japanese, Taiwanese,
Really?
plum wine.
Plum wine.
Ooh, I like
This,
that.
this
like
specific
it.
flavor does, right?
Ooh, I'm gonna savor
Maybe
this.
after a program we can try other
Of course.
That's a great idea.
Well, but to be fair, what Iga mentioned, this is 18% alcohol, 19. I can't see very well.
19?
Usually we drink 40 plus. So
40
the
plus.
idea is it's like a digestif, where after
Right.
you eat,
Yeah.
you drink it for the healthy benefits.
for
let's say.
digestion.
Right,
You
right,
feel
right.
like it's better, easier to digest everything with this.
Pellet as well.
Yeah, and it makes the body warmer and gets the blood going.
We're making
if you
so
had-
much excuses for drinking alcohol.
Honestly,
I
you
love that.
guys sound like it.
I also heard you have another kind of very specific Polish kind of specialty with
Yeah,
you.
yes. So we kind of talked about those things. So I have something that is not of my culture, of my ethnic background. Those are posters for the mugs and tissues. So they're nothing special in terms of products, but the patterns are a little bit more
Okay.
special.
The
As you guys
design.
can see, they're very simplified design, let's say.
They're
There you go.
very cute.
If you guys want, take the tissue out, and you can also show the actual tissue.
Oh, the
how it
tissue
looks.
itself
Yes,
has the
it
print?
also has the patterns.
Oh, I see.
And this is from a city called Łowicz, which is around 80 kilometers from Warsaw, so quite close from the capital. And I think most children who studied or were born in Warsaw had the chance to go like on a summer trip there. And it's one of the two most popular like ethnic terms like Ami people of Taiwan, Taiwan people of Taiwan.
Kind of like an indigenous group.
Yes, exactly. So
And this is a traditional cultural pattern they
yes,
have.
and they're very big. So the patterns themselves you might like, you might not like. That's up to your own preference
Right.
and taste. I myself like to paint with those patterns.
What's the name of this group?
Łowicz.
So the place is named after the people?
Yes, so the group is called Łowiczania,
Okay.
or there's something like Książęca, which has nothing to do with the first name.
Okay.
But because it's a group that's been there for more than 1,000 years.
Okay.
So they have their own preferred name.
Right.
Kind of like Ami and Ame. The
Got
Ami
you.
people prefer Ami,
Yeah.
but the Taiwanese government calls them
Ame.
Ame
Yeah.
because of Chinese,
Yeah.
right? So the Łowicz is the name of the city through which most Polish people know the ethnic group, but they themselves don't call themselves that.
Okay. Well, this is beautiful. And I can see that it's like they really focus on elements that they find in nature that
Yes.
surrounds them. And are these embroideries or are these
Everything. They do pottery, they do paintings. Something that's very, I think, unique to that region, they do a lot of beautiful crafts with paper.
Okay.
Kind of like paper mache style.
Wow.
Where they cut out the symbols and stuff like that and they decorate the windows of the houses.
Okay.
Or at least it was like this 100 years ago and back.
These are really special and very unique, and I believe that they only come from Movish, right? And so,
Yes.
like in different cities, you'll have different groups and different kinds of designs and patterns as well.
Yeah.
So there's really this is just like a little drop in a big bucket of
Yeah.
different kinds of cultures that are present in Poland. Wow, learning so much already.
Yes, I'm curious, Mike. How long in Taiwan you've been living here?
Well, the first time I came here was 2017. I came again in 2018. I stayed for a year. I left during COVID, which was a very bad decision to leave Taiwan during COVID. And I've been here for 4 years now.
4 years. Okay.
And studying what?
So
Where?
first, I studied at Zhongshan Daxue in Kaohsiung at Sun Yat-sen University. I did some research on indigenous peoples of Taiwan. That was the best year of my life.
I'm seeing the passion now. I'm
Yeah.
seeing the
I love cultures. I love understanding how the local people think, and if I can learn the language, I also follow that, which is so much fun, but also so much work. Going to Sandiman area a lot and having to talk with indigenous chieftains who wouldn't necessarily speak Mandarin themselves. That was quite a challenge. But then I started with studies in Hsinchu at Jiaoda.
Okay.
And then now I'm actually following a PhD at NTUST, which is a great school, very supportive people. So if anybody thinks of either having a career in academia or maybe finding like a half a year program, NTUST is a really good school to do that.
And I see you've been interviewed.
Yes, I do a lot of random stuff. I keep myself away from like full-time positions since forever. I've been a contractor, have my own company, so I do a lot of weird stuff in my life.
And you're also working on a doctorate program right now.
Yes.
Oh, you have a lot on your plate, and still you have time to do all of this.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but I try my best.
Oh, it's great having you here.
Well,
Thank
no,
you for
yeah.
your
Thank you for
time.
the
Thank you for taking the time out of your day.
Yes. All right, I'm curious about Zosha.
Yeah.
What brought you to Taiwan?
So I'm sorry, but at the very beginning, I didn't know much about Taiwan. But I had a lot of Taiwanese friends in Poland, and they always were saying, yeah,
Taiwanese in Poland.
yeah, they were studying there.
Wow, exchange program.
They were doing their degree there.
Really?
Yeah, so they were always saying, oh, Taiwan is so convenient, you should come and see. So I finished high school and I was like, do I want to go to university or do I want to do something else? And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try and come here. So I applied for a language school first. I came and I studied in Taichung.
Okay.
Wow, it is really convenient and people here are really friendly. So I decided to stay. So I called my parents and said, maybe I'll do my major here, you know? And they were like, okay. But they came here and they saw that Taiwan is really a nice place. And they allowed me
Wow.
to stay. Yeah.
So you're in Taichung first, but now you're in Taipei?
Yeah,
Where do you go to school now?
at Ming Chuan University.
University.
Yes, and I'm doing international business and trade.
Okay. Well, I mean, coming from an international background, it will be pretty useful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I choose this, because as a foreigner, I think that might give me more
And I heard you also
possibilities.
work on the side in Taiwan?
Yeah, once I moved to Taipei, I started getting some model opportunities. So I'm doing that when I have some free time. It's really nice.
Okay, okay.
Nice, lovely.
Cool. Jakob?
Yeah, one thing I want to mention though, because it's not normal for Polish people to have Taiwanese friends in Poland. That's very special. It's just that Zosha lives in Lublin, which happens to be a place where a lot of Taiwanese people go to study.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Lublin is a
that's
pretty like big.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There's a big Taiwanese community.
Yes,
studying
I think they
there.
go to study mostly what, dentistry or
Yeah,
medical
medicine,
universities.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's Taiwanese restaurants, Taiwanese like bubble tea stores over there.
Are you from Warsaw?
I'm from Warsaw.
Okay, okay, okay. But you've heard about it in Warsaw that Lublin has.
No,
these
no,
guys.
I heard about it after I moved
After
to
you came
Taiwan,
here,
like
okay.
last year or something.
And you've been in Taiwan for a while now.
I've been in Taiwan for 4 years now.
Where did you study?
So I study at Ming Chuan too.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're,
学长学妹。
对，学长, 学长. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't very invested in my master's degree. My mom wanted me to finish it and I did it. But in the meantime, I was working and I was always more focused on work rather than
Thank your mom. Thank your mom.
Thank you, Mom. I hope you're happy now.
She's watching, she's
That
watching.
camera, that camera, that camera.
Thank you, Mom. I hope you're happy now. Well, basically, I called her. I said, I finally graduated. Am I free to do whatever I want now? And she said yes.
No, congratulations.
So I said, okay, maybe I'll try to start to learn Chinese.
Oh yeah, small deal. Yeah, easy, small case. Yeah.
I feel I was really, really crazy. And I was really brave.
Yeah.
White hair growing more and more.
It's a big difference between my speaking and like my writing, for example. My handwriting is terrible. She gives me this and like, "Oh, fill in your company name and whatever it is," and I'm like, "Could you do it for me?" Like, no, we can't write it for you.
So what's your future plan? Staying in Taiwan?
Yes. After I finished my master's degree, I started my first company, which I failed at very quickly. And then I got a full-time job for a year, but I realized that wasn't for me. Okay. And now I started my second company.
Okay.
And it's been going well so far.
You're using your freedom well.
Yes,
Really
I am.
Stretching
I'm
your
very
wings
happy.
out.
Yes. And at Ming Chuan, I studied international affairs, sort of similar to Zosha.
Okay.
And I gotta say though, it was a good period. Even though I was, maybe not the best student, but all the professors there are very supportive, and I did have a good time in the end. Yeah.
So it's like a learning process too, like learning about learning and then learning how
Yes.
to use your knowledge in the real world as well.
Yes.
Nice, thank you, Jacob.
Speaking of what he said about dentistry earlier, we actually have a dentist
Yes.
here from Poland.
I'm dentist.
Yeah.
But you practice in Taiwan.
Yes. I studied in Poland. There I met my husband, my present husband.
Okay.
You were
Because
classmates?
we were classmates, but I studied the Polish program and he studied English program. So we met there around 3rd grade and fall in love and stay together till graduation.
Okay.
But after graduation, I need to do my internship in Poland to get the Polish license.
Right.
And he must come back to Taiwan to do internship in Taiwan. And after he finished internship, he came back to Poland and proposed to me.
Oh,
Yeah. So I said, okay, so because to become dentist, if you are foreigner in Poland, it's really hard.
Okay.
You need to pass the medical exam is in English, no problem, but you also need to pass the Polish language exam,
Right.
which is Polish is almost the hardest language in the world.
Yeah.
So my husband, he tried really hard to study, but he feel it's really, really hard. So I said, okay, so maybe I try to start to learn Chinese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can do
Small
it.
deal. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Small case. Yeah. Small
Okay,
case.
I will try it.
Mandarin,
Yeah.
Polish Mandarin.
Two of the hardest
Now
languages
looking
in the
backward,
world.
I feel I was really, really crazy. And I was really brave.
Yeah.
White hair growing more and more.
I didn't know the medical exam in Taiwan is fully Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cruel.
So technically, your husband would have had an advantage in Poland more than you had in Taiwan.
Yeah. And it's really hard to find some teacher who will teach you medical terms.
Right.
So I went for daily conversation course in the Chinese Culture University.
Okay.
Wenhua Daxue.
There's your student ID.
Yeah, this is my student ID.
Wow, you look rebellious. Very different from what you look like now.
The punk dentist.
This was many, many years ago. I study the normal conversation, also grammar, but also I study by myself the medical terms.
Right.
I used to stay in my husband's clinic and listen how he speak to patient. So for example, I all the time heard esguampian. I said, what this? And he said, okay, this means X-ray. I said, okay, so now I know the word X-ray, and I learn word by word like this. This is my
This is your nose?
my word.
Your
This is
Oh,
my
so cute.
yeah, I study like this. And later, when I get my internship in Taiwan, my old co-workers decided, okay, we don't speak any words to you in English. We only speak to you in Chinese. So beginning, I cry every day because I feel they speak so fast, and I couldn't understand. I feel pressure big, but slowly, I get used to it. And for example, my VS say to me, next day you must explain to patient oral hygiene instruction or in Chinese. So I just write down everything and memorize it. And later, I need to go to the exam. To get the license in Taiwan, you have 2 parts of the exam. And the first time I failed. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay because I know maybe I didn't have enough Chinese. But second time, when I finish exam and the result come, I start crying. And my colleagues all say, don't worry, guy, you will pass next time. I say, no, I'm crying because I passed it. I'm super happy. I feel my mission impossible is accomplished.
This is the most encouraging story I've heard.
Seriously, this should be a movie.
Oh my God.
It sounds like the environment with your classmates who really force you to use your Chinese listening and speaking when
I
they
feel
refuse
they
to
are
use English.
super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like really trial by fire, but that's how you pick it up, I guess.
There are many amazing people I met there.
That's really amazing.
Thank you.
Well, no, because you spared him the trouble to go through exactly what you ended up going through later.
Yeah,
Wow.
for love.
Yeah, that's greatness right there. That's impressive.
Well, learning Chinese, Mandarin,
it's not easy.
very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the most difficult parts, most confusing part that we can talk a bit about? Zosha?
For me, it's definitely speaking.
Speaking.
Yes, like even though I learned something and I feel like I know it, and then I go to 7-Eleven and instead of saying liang bai, I will say er bai when it's the most simple mistake because I get so stressed and I'm like, what am I even saying? And I feel like Taiwanese people want to start talking with them and then they think, oh, maybe you know something actually, and they start speaking faster and faster, and I get so lost. And I'm like, no, please stop.
And liang.
Yeah, we have 2 words for 2.
Yeah.
One for counting and one for addressing.
我要2个蛋. I want 2 eggs.
Well, 2个蛋. No.
什么？
20个蛋.
20个蛋.
Yeah.
Okay. That's even more.
For those of you who didn't understand at home, that joke was hilarious.
But I think in Polish we have, you can say two in 20 different
Anything.
methods
Oh, really?
because our grammar is very complex.
Oh.
And you need change endings. Depends if you are boy, girl, or you speak in the past tense. So it's really complex.
So why are you so confused? Your 2 is
Chinese
more
is so
complicated.
easy.
Really?
I wish I knew.
So, Iga, honestly, you think Mandarin is easier than Polish?
for
Mike
me,
is nodding.
Absolutely.
Speaking is easier.
Absolutely. The grammar and the
Grammar is
speaking
super
much
easy. Speaking
Okay.
is easy. Writing is hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is such thing, Chinese proverbs, 成语.
Right.
Right.
Are these some things that you guys have encountered before?
Yeah, so
Mike?
I can tell you a very short story about what's written over there. 盲人摸象, I think the Chinese.
盲人摸象, yes.
盲人摸象.
down. And the idea that every language has idioms, sayings, and stuff like that. I always give an example of raining cats and dogs.
Right.
It comes from Britain, which makes absolutely no logical sense. But in Chinese language, the issue is that you have to know the whole story behind the expression, 成语, rather than just the meaning of it to really go into the depths of the culture, let's say. So, like, when we're talking about, this means to, let's say, judge the elephant as a blind person by touching it. And the meaning is that you shouldn't judge the whole story, the whole picture, by a part of it. Which makes sense, but if you look at the hands, the characters there,
It's impossible.
It just says blind man touching elephant.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? Based on what we discuss here with Chinese, I think compared to Polish, the basic of Chinese is very difficult for people to learn. But from basics to semi-advanced, it's much easier than Polish. But I think this for Chinese are also considered difficult by native speakers to have like very in-depth understanding of Chinese. I think impossible for a person who comes from non-collectivism society.
Right.
Because you just don't understand certain things.
We've learned these 成语ever since like
They've been-
elementary.
Kind of programmed into it.
Maybe you guys know the story. There was a very, very famous speech by a person of the Taiwanese government a few years back when he wanted to opt for not teaching children Chinese because they're obsolete in modern Chinese. And making the speech, he used 5 Chinese,
That's funny.
which was funny, right?
That is funny.
Because
I reckon we should keep it.
I say keep them.
they make the language a little bit more beautiful. While
Yeah.
nobody should expect people to know them by heart because it's difficult.
Right.
Using them shows you have a little bit more understanding of the culture itself rather than just the language.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, and that's the tricky part. Like you said, there's nuances, and so even for us, if we run into an idiom that we're familiar with but we've forgotten, just by reading the words, you can get an idea, but it might be the opposite
Yeah.
direction once you remember the actual story that goes along with it. So
Yeah.
it has a pretty high bar, but yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I like it a lot. Thank you. That's a really good point. Oh.
Okay. In an everyday, living, when we go to banks, when we go to post offices, we have these forms.
Right.
And these forms are quite confusing for our foreigner friends.
Yeah, and I remember
For instance,
Jakob was saying he really doesn't like the writing.
look at his
the writing
face
is hard.
now. He's like confusing, man.
Tonku.
What happened? What was the story?
So much
Yeah, so first and foremost, I actually never really had much trouble learning Chinese. I really enjoyed it. And that was also a big reason of why I moved to Taiwan, because when I first came here, I really fell in love with the country, with the culture. I wanted to learn more about it. So I didn't really have much trouble learning Chinese. I just really enjoyed the process. But I didn't learn the usual way. So I didn't go to university. I just learned by myself by talking to friends. So that's why my speaking is much better than my writing and my reading. It's a big difference between my speaking and like my writing, for example. My handwriting is terrible.
Not a problem.
So,
But a problem there.
yes,
that would be a problem.
So in my work life, basically, I have to deal with those things sometimes. For example, when you open a company in Taiwan and you go to a bank, you need to fill out some forms, right? And most of the time it's pretty simple, but sometimes you need to write the full company name in Chinese, and it's like 10 characters, you know?
Yeah.
She gives me this and like, fill in your company name and whatever are these, and I'm like, could you do it for me? Like, no, we can't write it for you. And I'm like, is the Zuguan there?
Can you help
Come
me?
on, please. I always manage to convince them.
Okay.
Well,
But sometimes there's no other way.
This is after graduation. You opened your own company, your startup.
Yeah, well...
What about back school? Back at school?
Well, actually, I studied in English.
Okay.
So I didn't have any Chinese classes.
Oh, so your program was taught in English?
Yes,
and your
exactly.
projects were all
Entirely
done
in English. So I learned Chinese on the sidelines, basically.
Oh, cool.
But any culture shock in the class?
Yeah, there were quite some. So first thing I remember from my exchange back during bachelor's degree time. It's when I first came to Taiwan. I go to class, and we had this class which was mixed international students with Taiwanese students. Some of these classes were like business degrees, and people were coming in for the morning class with like full breakfasts, you know?
Yeah, we bring our own breakfast.
I was like, what's going on here?
What's wrong? What's it like back in
Are we allowed
Poland?
to eat in class?
Impossible.
Yeah, you can't even, like some professors won't even let you drink water in class. Like, I mean, water is usually okay, but like any
Night
other
tea?
drinks are
Milk
like
tea?
night time. No, absolutely not. Like, you can't bring it into class.
So like with the professors,
Like,
like water is a gateway beverage to other beverages.
Pretty much. Yeah, you're like allowed to bring a bottle of water, but that's about it.
So having breakfast in school, in class, is
During
a culture
lecture.
shock.
I picked it up later, yeah.
Oh,
I picked it up. I was
okay.
like, you know, why would I eat earlier when I can just take
Eat
it
there,
to class?
You
right?
can
At
wake
9
up,
a.m.
get to class, and then,
exactly.
start your
I
day.
did try it a couple times, but it still feels weird because, you know, there's a bunch of smells in a classroom, and I still felt a little bit weird. I still felt it was a little bit disrespectful towards the teacher.
Yes.
Like people are just eating, you know.
Like,
It looks like they're not focused on the
Slurping
class,
noodles.
right? It may look like it, but I think none of the professors were really bothered. So.
well, we don't encourage it, but it happens.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's accepted.
I mean, I saw it all the time.
Okay.
Well, for you, Mike, is there any cultural differences or culture shocks you've
That you
experienced at
Well,
school?
Based on the business talk, I think we can talk about the idea of business cards, which is extremely important here, where I find it a little bit redundant in our times because you need to carry a lot of stuff with you. I think a lot of people would like to get rid of the wallets and stuff like that, and yet we have to carry business cards with us. Like, for example, I have this box here, and the whole culture of business cards is quite difficult. So as probably some of you know, LinkedIn is not really a thing in Taiwan.
Yes.
Although, for example, myself, and there's this lovely lady from my university, we tried to make it more popular. So there are people who try to make it more convenient to find jobs and look for employees. But essentially every event, social or non-social event you go to, you have to carry your business cards with you. And I would like to show the audience how, from my European perspective, it is a little bit weird. Iga, if you don't mind doing the business card exchange with me. So I have my personal card with me. And the whole culture is that we keep talking about who I am, who you are, and stuff like that, while trying to kind of make it as suave as possible. So we have to give it this way up.
Yes.
So the person reads
Good
it.
manners.
And we go, oh. And both of us have to continue the conversation while we look at the card, try to read all the details on the card, flip it around and go, oh.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I try to do myself to impress the local people, especially people who don't assume that most international people speak Chinese. I always like, oh, your surname is Tsai, right? Oh. And the second character, how do you read that? And this is a very
Trying
good,
to make a conversation.
yes, a very good icebreaker thing. But you'd think that this is the end of it. Of course, the conversation happens on both parts. But then you cannot just put it like this.
Okay,
because
yeah.
That's nope.
Not good.
So I love it because I just close my box, I just put it in my pocket, and I have to take it out, open it again, and like, oh, very neatly put it in to show respect.
Yeah.
And usually the moment I love the most is this part, where we're already done with the exchange, and we just go away. And I feel this is a little bit awkward, especially if you try to do like business dealings, where there isn't a follow-up. Which, for example, an online platform allows for. Like LinkedIn, you can always message, it was lovely meeting you there.
Yeah.
Here, you have send an email or message online. I myself, including many people, don't appreciate when people message me online privately.
Right.
because it's a business context. So this culture is very important, and I see a lot of companies coming from the Western cultures that don't follow those rules, and they just fail. Lack of respect very often means no deal.
Right. I feel so bad. I have a pretty large collection of name cards, and I don't know what to do with them because I feel bad throwing them away. But they've never called me. I've never spoken to them.
Same.
Sometimes it can come useful if you're looking for someone.
Right.
But the chances are pretty low.
Really low now. Yeah, it's kind of like a relic from the past almost now. But
Yeah.
I actually kind of do find them useful though.
Really?
Yes, because as you said, I do have a collection myself, and sometimes maybe during the meeting, I don't know, there's no time to add line or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can always use this as, either
As a
an
way to
email or
follow
whatever.
up.
So
Yeah.
Well, Iga, you have an actual name card, right? Because you work in a clinic. This culture for you is okay?
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay. But what about you? Do you have any culture shocks you've experienced? It's been many years, but still, let's share your story.
Okay, I cannot use to the cockroach.
Nobody can, okay?
In Poland, we only have small one, and maybe on some old buildings or trash place. But here, because it's tropical island, they are everywhere.
And they're huge.
And they're big.
And okay, if they're outside,
huge.
I'm already used to them. But if they are in my space, I panic.
Yeah.
And one time when I was pregnant, I was home alone, and suddenly I noticed very huge one cockroach in my space, and I feel, oh my God, I cannot go sleep because I know they run, they even can fly. So I called my husband. He said he didn't answer. I called his brother. He didn't answer. And then I'm watching him. I said, okay, I cannot kill him. I'm so scared. So I took the vacuum machine and sucked him inside very fast. But later I solved the problem. But no. He is really crazy. He can go out. He can crawl back. So I just stuck that tube next to the wall and watching him, watching 1 hour. And when my husband came back, I just asked him, please, take that bag and go to trash can and just throw out it.
Yes.
I don't know how many years I need to become friends with them.
Are you brave? Are you braver now?
Is it better now?
I'm braver, but I still hate them.
Oh.
I can feel it.
It's like my phobia.
Yeah. This isn't so much a cultural shock. This is just shock. No, I want to change the subject. Zosha.
let's move on, please.
No, that's part of Taiwan.
Yeah. Did you have any culture shock moving here?
A lot, but what I'm gonna talk about today is flip-flops. Okay, this is very odd, but I don't like feet.
Okay.
You don't like your feet showing or other people's feet?
I think mine mostly.
Oh, okay.
But I think so my idea is that it's uncomfortable or something. So I came here and I saw, wow, people really like flip-flops here. And I was shocked first of all, but I was even more shocked when I see they wear them even when it's cold. So I was really a cold hat, but you still wear your flip-flops even in this weather. So I was very surprised, especially our grandmas, Polish grandmas always say, always cover your head, your feet to not get cold. So that's why I was oh, why?
There's two camps in Taiwan. You either wear boots or you wear flip-flops.
Yes.
You either keep the water out or you just accept the water.
Oh, that makes sense actually.
Cockroaches, flip-flops.
Yeah.
Welcome to Taiwan.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into our favorite game, Wow Me.
We'll see you.
See you after break.
this is the place where we are gonna get shrimps. Grilling the shrimps you caught yourself, it really does taste different.
This university is built on a hill, so basically every building is connected by stairs.
The view from up here is amazing. I think you can see most of the Taipei.
This is what the life of a model at a university looks like.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. We've had a really fun conversation today. It's been so relaxing, but we always need a little bit of competition just to spice things up. And you can treat it as a final exam. Think about the campus thing. Yeah, themes, right? Themes. So we're gonna play Wow Me. It's a game we like to play on the show where we like to hear about experiences or activities that you found in Taiwan that you absolutely love, that you think not only will impress people back at home, but these two locals on the couch too.
And if you wow us, we'll give you some wow points.
Yeah.
Showing the hearts. But if it's 还好啦, then okay.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so who's gonna start wowing us? Let's see, Jacob.
You have a VCR, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Let's just watch it then.
Okay.
Hi guys, you might be wondering, what is this place? Well, we are about to go shrimping. Let's go guys, I'll show you what it's all about. Qingcao Diaoxiacang, located at Zhongshan district, this is the place where we are gonna get shrimps. And how are we gonna get them? Well, we're gonna get them ourselves, but by catching them, basically. So let's just go and do that. I can't even explain it, man. Right now, I'm standing in between two ponds. On my right, the male shrimp pond, and on my left, the lady shrimp pond. What is the difference? The males are much bigger than the ladies. They're bigger. They're tastier. Is that some weird? Let me read it. So, the key to successful shrimping is patience, and motivation. So I'm just gonna be sitting here, and until I feel something, I'm not moving.
Wow, I'm so jealous.
No, I'm lucky, man. So this one's got just one leg, I don't know, but anyway, another catch. So he lands in the basket, and now we got two. Let's go, baby. That's your first time shrimping?
Yeah, my first time.
Yeah.
Never been here before.
Dude, you gotta listen to the pros, man. All right, guys, so the next step is we're gonna have to prepare these bad boys that we just caught. Cut out their legs and all these parts. And then once we're done with this, take one of these sticks, generous amount of salt. And we're gonna roast them on the grill in a second. Yeah. All right, head goes off smoothly. Oh, huge one though. Look at this. Grilling the shrimps you caught yourself, it really does taste different. Shrimp fishing in Taiwan is definitely a very interesting cultural experience. So if you don't have any Friday night plans, you know what to do next. And this guy is very upset. I'm gonna have to go let him go. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.
That was really entertaining. Oh, wow.
It's a fun activity. It's a fun
It's a
activity.
very Taiwanese activity.
That's one of my favorite things to do for a pastime with friends. Like, shrimping is really fun. I really like that. Thank you. That was really funny
Although
too.
it was a bit cruel, but I think it's the whole experience.
Tiny bit, yes.
Well, sometimes you can fish it, but then you can put it back.
Yeah, some people do that.
You can choose not to eat it.
Yeah. Some people go just to.
But
do that.
if I put it back into the pond, you know, like someone else is
Someone else
gonna
got it.
because it's a pond.
Yeah, we established he's not competitive at all. He just wants to win. You know?
Right, okay. I give you points.
Oh,
wow, thank you for the
Thank you for sharing that. That was
Thank
really
you,
good.
guys.
Oh, wow,
Okay,
I like
next
that.
up.
So one of my favorite activities is not only going to supermarket and checking what people will buy in Taiwan, but also to pharmacies. And when the first time I go to pharmacy, I found this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what that is, but I was like, okay, it looks very Asian style. So I look at it, and that's a green oil.
Okay.
And then I actually learned that students use it.
Yeah.
When they're like very tired
Yeah.
and sleepy at school.
When you need to, like-
So then you can just use it under your nose
Right.
or
On your
like maybe-
temples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere here, and that's supposed to make you feel better. I like this idea of it, you know. And now they also have many different like smells.
Okay.
The sakura one I saw so pretty,
Oh.
and they have like a little
no.
cute,
This is a great souvenir to bring home.
Yeah.
yeah. I always buy like 10 of those.
right.
Okay,
What activities are you going to wow us with?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
You have a video, right?
So I have an activity of me climbing
She
the
likes it
Ming
so
Chuan
much.
stairs.
No, that's like the.
I feel you. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my second favorite activity, the stairs.
Where are you taking us?
To Ming Chuan University first, and later to my favorite food courts.
Okay.
What a combo.
Let's
Yeah.
check it out.
Hello everyone, I'm Zosha. Today I'm going to show you the university I'm studying at in Taiwan, Ming Chuan University. There's one thing Taipei's campus is famous for, and that is the stairs. But I never walk here, so. This university is built on a hill, so basically every building is connected by stairs. Going to class every day feels like a hike. Free workout, no membership required. If you climb 5 days straight here, it's like climbing 101. Okay, we finally reached here, and as you can see, it's totally worth it because the view from up here is amazing. I think you can see like most of the Taipei. You can see it's really nice. After classes, this is one of my favorite places to go. It's Shilin Night Market, and it's the most famous night market in Taiwan. Even though it's called night market, there are still a lot of shops open during the daylight. The reason I came here today is simple. Not for the bubble tea, but for my favorite taro milk tea. 老板，一杯芋草牛奶。Perfect. You should definitely try it as well. In Poland, we don't have taro. When I first came to Taiwan, I had no idea what it was. I thought it was sweet potato at first, but it tastes totally different. Now, I really love everything taro flavored, especially taro milk tea. Steamed buns. I love all of them, but my favorite one are the one with the pork and veggies. It's so good. It tastes the same every time, which is great. Delicious. Studying in Taiwan has been such a great experience, not just because of the school, but also the culture, the food, and all the surprises along the way. This is what my student life looks like. Bye for now. Hope you can visit Ming Chuan too.
Wow. Well, this is what the life of a model at a university looks like.
Yes, she's so glamorous.
I know. You made like just going to the night market to get a taro milk tea look very elegant.
Oh, really? Thank you.
She just named an island.
No, because look at the water.
Oh, okay.
It's very amazing dive spot because of the visibility.
It's always so popular because it's just tasty and it's a great snack to put in the fridge. It's lovely in the summer.
Yeah.
Even in the freezer.
Freezer?
Have you tried?
Oh, I haven't tried that yet. Here's my wow to you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. We should give her
We should
more
give her some
wow.
points for the bonus too.
Thank you so much.
Love.
Very well done, very well done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next up, Ika, do you want to give it a try?
Okay, I think I know what can wow you.
Oh.
来来
She came prepared.
蓝屿岛.
Okay, wow. One of
She
my
just
favorite-
named an island.
No, because look at the water.
Okay.
It's
So
amazing.
蓝屿岛 is an Orchid Island. It's located 64 kilometers of southeast corner of Taiwan. And it's very amazing dive spot because of the visibility.
Right.
Visibility underwater is amazing, almost 40 meters. And what else you can do there? You can just enjoy your view, enjoy the nature. You can rent a scooter and ride all around all island. This is me when I went with my cute boy, and also Cold Spring, and I think
Supermodel. Wow.
yeah, a few years ago.
So beautiful.
I feel the air there is nice, and also it's not so not much
Humid.
touristic place like other, for example,
Yeah.
like Canteen. This place is much more quiet, so
Trying
I
to
think
get
can
to.
really have relaxing vibes there.
Well, the eastern part of Taiwan, Lanyu, is one of the most beloved treasure islands. And because of the black tide, the water is so clean, so blue, so dark as well, because it's so clean. It's because your husband, not only a dentist, but also a dive instructor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it takes her everywhere.
When I
Lovely.
went first time to Taiwan, he took me to Green Island.
Okay.
And it was my first time underwater experience, and I just fall in love because there are so many colorful fish. Even I didn't know they are like this exist.
Yeah. Okay.
Because in Poland we have Baltic Sea, it's cold sea.
Right.
So the fish, they are totally different.
Thank you for sharing that. It's really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous. I still haven't gone. I really need to go.
You really need to go.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you,
Thank you.
Iga.
Thank you, Iga. Okay, Mr. Mike.
Those things, in terms of souvenirs that I would bring to Europe, especially after probably like Iga herself, like we've been on so many trips back home. Before I explain these, probably everybody heard of the Taiwanese pineapple cakes or fondue sous.
Yeah.
They're a very good thing to bring always from Taiwan, but many people, including Taiwanese people, don't realize that they also saved the Taiwanese farming industry in the 60s and the 70s. When the Chinese government banned the import of pineapples from Taiwan, a lot of people didn't know what to do with them, and due to, like, thankfully, a few people managed to build, like, let's say, pineapple cakes factories.
Wow.
And they saved the industry.
I didn't even
So
know
right
that.
now, I think everybody here enjoys the absolutely stunningly flavorful Taiwanese pineapples.
So do you have pineapple cake there? I'm not going to give you wows for pineapple cake.
No, I don't have pineapple cakes
Okay.
because there are two famously, introduced.
Okay. What
about that?
Everybody
What
knows
about
them.
So what do you have
But
here?
these ones here, I'll start with these because those are pastries that are a little bit easier. So Iga, would you help me please to give it to everybody?
Oh, I'll help.
But this here is something that I always like to explain what it is, because if you explain the process of making ayu or the cognac jelly, I don't think it's easy to explain how it's made. Because think of a pine cone that has seeds. You put the seeds in the water, use some mesh cloth, you rub it together, and the seeds become this.
The ayu.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and those are really nice. Most of my friends and family in Europe love them. My best friend's girlfriend actually named them glutki, which is boogers, because of the texture. But despite the texture, it's absolutely beloved by everybody. This one is passion for flavor. I usually do, I go to a very large supermarket chain, and they have this huge basket of those cognac jellies. They're 2.5 kilograms, so probably 200
Very
plus
detailed.
of them.
Yeah, I know.
No, but imagine this: when we go
When you
back,
bring it back.
on a flight, you have, let's say, 20 kilograms, and for me, 5 kilograms of the 20 kilograms is this.
Oh,
right?
heavy.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's always so popular because it's just tasty and it's a great snack. If you put it in the fridge, it's lovely in the summer.
Even in the freezer.
Freezer.
Have you tried?
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
That's
Thank
how
you for the recommendation.
That's how we ate it when we were kiddos.
Here's my wow to you.
Yes, thank you. I'll return it to you.
But yes, I said that's how you get the points. Iga, would you mind giving it to everybody as well?
Thank you so much. He's so prepared.
Thank you, Assistant Iga.
I should give him a wow for just being prepared to this extent. Here, would you like to try the cognac?
And if you guys look at the pastries that are over there on the table, those are also very important from the cultural perspective. I think a lot of foreigners, especially from Western cultures, when they come to Taiwan, they are a little bit surprised by Asian obsession with red beans. Because I think most countries from the Western culture, they use beans with savor, with food and stuff like that. That's dinner.
Teacher, can I eat in class?
Yes,
Yes.
you're very much allowed. My classes are very, very chill. And as you guys can see, there's a little bit of red paste in the middle, and then salty egg yolk in the very middle. This is important because from egg yolk, while it's usually used for a lot of pastries from around the world, I think in Taiwan, especially for holidays, with all Chinese culture, egg yolk is very important because it's a circle, it symbolizes a lot of good stuff. So, and also absolutely tastes like gorgeously tasty, especially if they're freshly baked.
Okay.
And you have Taiwanese friends, if they give it to you, for example, for the Moon Festival, for the New Year,
Say yes.
Say yes because it's special. So,
We even hold a competition to have all these bakeries compete their yolk pastries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
it's tested. Like
It's
they
tested.
pick a winner every year.
Yes, and it's a big event every year.
Okay.
Before the Moon Festival.
Okay.
I'll give you wows for that.
I prefer that over actually the pineapple cake, but the pineapple cake story, that deserves wows too.
That
I didn't
deserves
know
wow.
that.
We just took a class.
I know, and I got to eat it. Yeah.
And this is a bonus too. I love this. All
That's
right.
amazing. Thank you so much. But on that, I think we're at a good point to wrap it up and pick the winner for today,
Oh,
right?
it's so difficult.
It's very tricky. I think it's kind of close.
You think so?
I think so.
All right.
So let's go for the drum roll. Let's find out who won today's Wow Me. But shrimping is just too fun. So, would you like to give us a brief little speech before you immortalize your name on our board?
Well, guys, first of all, I was not really expecting that.
But you wanted it.
I was just doing what I like to do and shrimping, and then I won. So, so thank you for that. Personally, I really liked all the other competitors, but I was not trying to win. Let's make that clear. I don't care. I don't care about it at all, right? Yeah. Anyways, let me go sign the board.
And thank you today for being on the show.
you.
Thank you so much for what you've shared. And Ika too, thank you so much. And for those of you at home, thank you for watching. We hope you like the show.
We'll see you next time on
Wow Taiwan! See you on the